Wargamers? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Stos, and today we are back for another Let's Hobby. This is my video series where I show you what I've been working on and what I have been getting done. So, what have I been doing? I have been struggling to get a battle report filmed. Oh my god. Oh geez, it's been brutal. It's been a combination of like social obligations and difficulties, you know, scheduling issues with opponents. I've been finding it tough to get somebody to come in here and have a game with me. So, you know, there's only so much I can do as the one-man band that is, you know, Stos from Rogue Element Gaming. But yes, I've hopefully got a few opponents booked in for the next couple of weeks. And, you know, barring any weird, you know, little issues that may happen, there should be some more battle reports incoming soon. I was actually supposed to be filming a battle report today, and again, I had a problem. My opponent couldn't make it in the end. So, oh man, it's been rough. So, firstly, apologies for the halt in production. But yes, hopefully we'll have some more battle reports coming soon. So I figured, seeing as I'm not filming a game today, I haven't done a Let's Hobby in a little while, so I thought I'd do one, show you what I've been doing and what I've been, you know, working on over this little bit of time. And what I have been doing is putting some time into my Vampire Counts army. Yes, the spooky boys! A little bit of work has been getting done on them. So, you know, I have basically just been spending my time, you know, building the models and priming the models. And I wrote myself like a starting 2,000 list, 2,000 point list with stuff that I have. And, you know, everything on that list now, barring, I realized barring one model, everything on that list is built and primed, Zenithal primed, ready to go. And I have also finished one of the units, plus some extra, because, you know, Vampire Counts need, you know, more than what they have on the list for, you know, the raising of the dead, as it were. So I finished one unit plus extra, and you'll get to see all of that in a minute. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's have a look at what I've been working on and what I've been getting done. And here we have the beginnings of my Vampire Counts army. So let's just start with the unit that I've actually painted. So as you can see, I have punched out some skeleton warriors, hand weapons and shields, and I've actually painted 41 of them. 41 because, I don't know, there was just an extra one. With hand weapons and shields. Heck yeah, I think they are looking pretty sweet. So I'm basically going for massive, you know, speed paint throughout the entire army. I'm doing a Zenithal Prime, which is, you know, just a lovely way to do that for anyone that doesn't know. I'm sure everyone does know, but you spray it black and then you spray white from above / a 45-degree angle, so that, you know, all the top edges are nice and white, and everything underneath is still left in shadow. And then from there, I am basically just leaning on the contrast paints, people. Leaning heavy on the contrast, and man, these came out, I think, looking really nice. So yeah, it's like, you know, before Slap Chop was a thing, I was already doing this. This is the, you know, contrast paint with a Zenithal Prime. And it gets, you know, such good work out of contrast paint. It still gives you, you know, all of the depth. And all this is, you know, I used Skeleton Horde for the bone. Come on, you're gonna, yes, Skeleton Horde for all the bone. I used Flesh Terrors Red for all the red. I think that's Snakebite Leather for the wood on there. And then for the metallics, I made my own kind of weird bronze metallic by mixing, it's that really thin Vallejo airbrush silver that everybody seems to love. And I mixed that with some greeny brown ink. It's a burnt umber, but like I bought it off eBay. And it's got this weird green tint to it. I'm not sure if that's what burnt umber is supposed to look like, but yeah, that's how it came out. Come on, you're gonna focus. Do it. Focus on the guy. And yeah, to make this bronze, and I added some black ink in that as well, just to tone it down. So all of the metallics are this weird greeny brown bronze color. And then I just used Nailac Oxide on top of that, which is the blue technical paint that makes it look like there's a patina. And I did that across the whole unit. It was basically just those colors. It was Skeleton Horde for the bone. Any of the browns, I used a couple of the brown contrast paints. Wildwood for the belt buckles. Any of the wood, I used Snakebite Leather. Flesh Terrors, and yeah, there it is. And I think, honestly, I did these 41 skeletons, painting the miniatures, not the bases included, but painting the miniatures. I did them in 2 sittings, like 2 paint sittings, like maybe 2-3 hour sittings or something like that, and I had the miniatures fully painted. And for 2-3 hour stints on 40 odd miniatures, I think they've come up looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. They were kind of a proof of concept just to see how I go, because pretty much the whole army is going to be getting more or less the same treatment. And yeah, and then for the bases, I did my usual basing mix of, the 3 parts and 3 different kinds of grit. Oh boy. It's like sand that I bought from Bunnings, dirt from my front yard, just some slightly larger rocks. Every one of them has like a biggish rock on it. And then a couple of tufts from Army Painter. Deadland tufts and Highland tufts, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking about maybe adding a little bit of static grass around as well, just to, I don't know, give them a bit more. But I wanted it to look, pretty shabby, pretty gross. Because, Sylvania, it's not the most verdant of lands. So they definitely don't want to have, beautiful, lush, green grass bases. I wanted them to be a bit run down and a bit rough. But I don't know, maybe it needs a little bit more. But to be honest, at this point, I'm pretty happy. I don't like spending way too much time on bases, because I've still got all this to paint. And if I start getting too hung up on bases, nothing's going to get done. So yeah, that is it. That is, the 40 odd men. In the list that I have written, I only have a starting unit of 25. 25 skeleton warriors with hand, weapon, and shield, full command. And so, add 5 of these onto them, that's a starting unit. And then the rest are just for summoning, summoning throughout raising the dead throughout the game to bolster this unit. Because in terms of creating new units, I don't really think I would do that with skeletons. For that, I think the job goes to the zombies. Yes, look at them. Look at those zombies. Holy God, there's a lot of them. There is 47 primed, Zenithal primed zombies there. And again, in the list that I have, I think I start with a brick of 30. And then the rest are just ready for summoning / if I change things up, I'll have different kinds, different couple of units of 20 zombies there. But again, 2 units of 20 zombies leaves me with nothing for summoning. And that's not what you want for the vampire counts. So let's have a look at the rest of what I've got here. So this is my planned general, because I want blood dragons. Blood dragons are my favorite of the vampire count bloodlines. I love the warrior caste vampires. It's very Vlad the Impaler, which is just, that's my shtick. I like the warriors. So yes, and this is one of the old 6th edition blood dragon vampire count models. And I reckon he's pretty cool. I don't mind him at all. His stance is a little bit goofy. Those those weird bow legs. He obviously spends a lot of time in the saddle, but this time he's, he's on foot. But yes, this will be my general. This will be my Blood Dragon Vampire count. The name that I'm working with at the moment is Ulfric von Kurz. Sir Ulfric von Kurz. Once a noble knight, a noble knight of Bretonnia. No, not Bretonnia, sorry, a noble knight of the Empire, who, fought an epic duel with a black-clad knight at some point, losing and being mortally wounded, and as it turns out, said black-clad knight was a blood dragon vampire knight. And being so impressed with Ulfric's martial prowess, did not want to see him fall and die for good, so instead gave him the blood kiss and raised him as kin. And ever since, old Ulfric von Kurz, Sir Ulfric, has been, you know, getting about, following the path of the vampire warrior. So cool, hell yeah, there he is. I'm not 100% sure on how I'm going to paint this guy yet, if I go with the red armor and the black cloak, because the colors I'm going with are red is the main color, of course, because blood dragons, and yeah, black as an accent color, but blue as well. I'm using blue as the like the patina, so there'll be little bits of blue, because blue and red, you know, they go nicely together. So I don't know, red armor with a bluey black cloak, or black armor with a red cloak. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to leave him until I've done a bit more of the rank and file yet, or maybe, you know, treat myself to a hero once I've cracked through a little more of this. In that same list, I will also have a Vampire Thrall Battle Standard Bearer. Look at this guy. He is amazing. So yes, look at this dude. Oh my goodness. That banner, the flayed banner, God, it's good. It's so good, it's so gross. And they've, you know, flayed a man and hung him from the standard. I don't know if battle standard bearers are a great idea in a Vampire Counts army, because obviously leadership tests aren't a thing, but they do give an aura of, you know, -1 to the crumble. So, you know, if you lose combat as a Vampire Counts player, instead of running away, you do your leadership test, and however much you failed your leadership test by, that many units, that many men crumble from the units around. Which is not a big deal, but it is a big deal for units like, you know, Graveguard and Black Knights. And I'm going to have some of them in my list, and I figured, you know, this guy by himself is already a bit of a beast. I'm going to give him the Flayed Halberd, which gives him a 1-up armor save, and the Sword of Might, which puts him up to a base strength 6. So he'll just be a bit of a beast in a unit, and he's also, you know, potentially saving these very valuable units in Graveguard and Black Knights that can't be raised. In 6th edition, you can't raise them back up. So once they die, they're dead for good. So I figured having him, you know, will just keep everything a little more solid for a little bit longer, and he should be an absolute beast. So yes, that will be the Battle Standard Bearer for the army. I've also made a proxy, like, White King Battle Standard Bearer out of the, what is this guy? He's like the Watch Captain from the Ulfen Watch from the Cursed City. I just picked this guy up pretty cheap on eBay, and I thought, you know, converted him up to be a Battle Standard Bearer, a White King one, just in case I wanted a White King Battle Standard Bearer at some point to sub in for the Vampire Thrall, because the Vampire Thrall Battle Standard Bearer is expensive. And this guy can be a bit cheaper. But yes, there he is. That is my potential Battle Standard Bearer. And then, you know, I've got some dire wolves. I got some of the new sculpts for the, what are these guys called? Fellbats. Because to be honest, the old Fellbats always looked terrible, in my opinion. They're like weird flying pig things. They just looked a bit Gumby, but these look fantastic. They're just going to need to be, you know, rebased onto some square bases, and then they'll be doing the job. And again, everything is just going to be getting some contrast slapped on it, and then maybe some highlights and dry brushes if need be, but I'm going to try and punch this stuff out relatively quickly. But even then, even with relatively quickly, this is still not happening, you know, even within the next few weeks. Probably not this year. This might be a next year thing. But there it is. We've also got 22 ghouls ready to go in the back here. Just for some ghouls, I think I've got 10 of them in my current list. 10 ghouls just to, you know, skirmish their way up the field and feast on things, because they're just horrific little cannibals in 6th edition. They're one of the only unit that is alive. They, you know, so they don't have the undead special rule, which means they take leadership tests and potentially panic and do all of those things, but they're skirmishers, and because they're alive, it also means they don't have to be within 12 inches of the general to be able to march, so they're going to be super fast. You know, throw them up a flank, smash them into, you know, a crappy little lightly armored, you know, unit, or a war machine, go war machine hunting with them, stick them in the flank of something, they could be pretty sweet. So I've got 22 of them there. I've got a bunch more, but this is how much I've got, you know, built and primed at the moment, and only 10 of them are in the list. But there they are. I've also got the big block of Graveguard. I have 30 of them built and primed. Heck yeah, and I just went hand weapon and shield because, I don't know, like halberds are cool and all, but I don't think they needed them. Like, you know, they're already strength 4, toughness 4, they have the killing blows special rule, which means, you know, on a roll of 6, when they roll a wound roll of 6, they just automatically kill, no armor save, whatever they're fighting. So, and I just like the look of hand weapon and shield. I wanted them, you know, it also means that they've got like a 3-up armor save in combat, so they're going to stick around, they'll hold, they'll still be able to mince through most of what they'll be fighting, particularly if there's, you know, a blood dragon vampire count and a vampire thrall in there mincing through anything. They're gonna do the job. So yeah, there they are. Again, I don't think I've got a full 30 of them in the list, but I just wanted extras for if and when I wanted a big unit of them. And I've got 6 Black Knights. These guys are in the list, all 6 of them. Just for, yeah, you know, no blood dragon vampire counts army would be complete without some heavy cavalry. So there they are. There they are. They're in there, ready to go. I do have another 4 so that at some point I could take a unit at 10 and, you know, take a mounted vampire on there. So that's plans for the future, but for the list that I'm going to be working towards, it's just the 6. And I've also got 3 bases of Spirit Hosts, and I am using the new Age of Sigmar spirits for my Spirit Hosts. Because again, I never loved the Spirit Hosts from the old 6th edition. They didn't crumble my cookie. They didn't tickle my fancy. So instead, I'm using these bad boys, and I think they look awesome. My only gripe with them is they're a little big. You know, they stand quite tall compared to other things, but they're ghosts. You know, they're floating around. I think that's fine. So yeah, these guys didn't make it into the current list, but there's definitely going to be lists that I will be bringing Spirit Hosts, so I wanted to have them ready for then. So that is it. That's what I've got built and ready to go, and what I've got painted at the moment. And then I thought I may as well pull out some of my old, you know, the 5th edition undead models that, you know, are in definite need of a refurbish at some point. So, you know, this guy, or I painted all of these when I was like, I don't know, 12 or something, maybe 13 odd, not even younger. So this, you know, this guy is a fantastic old metal vampire model, and he, you know, he looks great for a blood dragon vampire. I do have this guy's counterpart, because this guy came with 2 models, one mounted and one on foot. I've got the mounted version of him as well, who is also very cool, but I very much like this model. I'll definitely take some photos of him before he gets the strip treatment, because, you know, memories. I like to remember what I did way back when, and, you know, for a 12-year-old, this was not the worst. Definitely not the best, but, you know, not too shabby. I had no idea what I was doing basing-wise back then. I literally just got, like, sand from the beach, and then instead of using PVA, I used super glue on the base. Put sand on there, tried to put some little like splodges of static grass. Because I was using super glue, it just turned into like a solid mess of ridiculous. But you know, back then there wasn't YouTube to show you how to do these things, and I didn't have any, like, I don't know, hobby role models. The guy that got me into this game was also like 11 or 12, so he didn't know what he was doing. He did have an older brother that helped him out a bit, but I didn't. So I just did what I thought was right, and a lot of it was wrong. But yeah, there's that guy. I've got a necromancer here, again from the old army, who, you know, is in desperate need of a repaint and a refurbish. But he looks, you know, he's not terrible. He looks okay. But yes, I will be, again, taking some photos of him for the memories, but definitely repainting these boys for the army. So he'll be one of my necromancers. I've got 2 necromancers in the list, and the model that I said that I haven't built and primed is the 2nd necromancer, because I got one of the new ones that, you know, still needs to be built and still needs to be primed. It's the one model, unbuilt and unprimed, to complete my, you know, my burgeoning Vampire Counts army. But this guy will be one of those 2. I've got an old, you know, von Carstein style vampire who looks pretty cool. And, you know, back then I also thought it was a great idea just to put a gloss varnish on everything. Oh, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So look at this shiny boy. But I tell you what, like, this guy's just been knocking around in boxes for like 20 years. And most of the paint is still on him. He's missing a little bit off the tip of his nose there. But otherwise, like, he's not been in like nicely packed stuff. He's just been like smacking around with other metal models. And the vast majority of the paint is still on him, which is pretty crazy. You know, go gloss varnish. It did an incredible job. He is supposed to have a cape, and I'm pretty sure I have it in a bits box. So when this guy, you know, if I want to write a Von Carstein list, and this guy will probably be the man, you know, and I'll, again, strip, photo, find that little cape and get it on him. I've got an old Banshee, one of the old Howling Banshees. Yeah, I don't know about the blue. It's pretty bright for Vampire Counts. At the time, I was like, yeah, I want it to seem like it was, you know, once a beautiful maiden, maybe a Bretonnian maiden that has been, you know, turned into a Howling Banshee. So I went with this, you know, beautiful blue dress. You know, it pops nicely, and look at this green base, disgusting. It does pop, and you know, my colors will be blue and red, but this might be too much blue. We'll see what I do with it if and when I give it the treatment. And I've got this badass old White King model that I tried to do like a little lightning effect on the blade. Ugh, God, it looks terrible. And you know, I don't know why I painted him green. I just wanted to, but I wasn't, you know, I didn't really care too much about having a nice cohesive army color back then either, apparently, because my army color wasn't purple. And I don't think it was green. I don't think I had an army color, to be frank. I just painted stuff what I wanted it to look like. And yeah, it was a mishmash of weird colored things. That's what happens when you start as a child and have no guidance from, like, you know, a hobby guru. You just do stuff. But you know, again, yeah, like, it looks pretty cool. I mean, maybe barring that sword. That sword's a bit ridiculous. But, you know, that gold... the gold is pretty nice, and that green pops. Yeah. Again, photo, strip, memories, but at some stage, if I want a mounted White King, are you going to stand up? No, you're not. All right. Yeah. Then that'll probably be my guy. That'll be it. But look, that is it. That's what I've been working on with my vampire counts. You know, 41 skeletons down. My next big thing is going to be those zombies, and again, I'm just going to be slapping contrast on them, you know, slapping blood for the blood god all over them. And hopefully they won't take me too long. There are a lot of them though. But that's it. That is what is happening with my vampire counts. And so this came today in the mail, and I just thought I'd share it with you guys because it was super, super lovely. So this gentleman hit me up on my Facebook page, on my Rogue Element Facebook page, and just mentioned that he had an old dwarf model that he picked up from Warhammer World at some point and never painted and never did anything with it, and was just like, I like what you're doing, do you want it? And I was like, hell yeah, dude, that would be awesome. I would definitely like, you know, a sweet old, you know, vintage dwarf model. And so this arrived today with this fantastic little note, and it says, hey Stoss, you know, thank you for all the amazing 6th Ed content. I can't really commit to helping you out financially, but I am happy to offer metal help for views and victory. And it's from a lovely man in the Netherlands. I won't say his name because I'm not sure if he wants that broadcast on the internet, but it's a fine gentleman from the Netherlands. And then so these little pieces came sticky taped to this page, and it also says, "You have my axe." What a beast. What a fantastic beast. And so it is this fantastic old, he said it was a Bugman's, you know, a Bugman model. And look at him. Look how cool this dude is. He's got this fantastic coat of chainmail. He's pointing aggressively. You know, beautiful mop of hair, a fantastic, glorious beard. And then he's got like this little scenic base, this metal scenic base with a spilled tankard. Because then you look at the hand options. He's got 2 options for the hand. One of them is this fantastic axe, and one of them I was looking at him like, what the hell is that? There's a second hand that's holding something, and it's a stool. So you can give him a bar stool. Because I guess the idea is that he's in a bar somewhere, you know, the spilled tankard, the floorboards, he's in a bugman's bar, and he can be wielding a bar stool, you know, ready to point at somebody. Now, as much as I love that, you know, that's funny as all heck, I probably won't give it to him, to be honest. I'll give him the axe because, you know, this guy will probably get used as a Thane in my dwarf army when I want an extra Thane because he looks awesome. Maybe a Lord even, depending. We'll see. We'll see where this guy goes. And as much as I love the whimsy of the bar stool, I'll probably give him the axe so that when he's out there on the field of battle with the other dwarves, he has a proper dwarven weapon to use. So yeah, so cool. You know, huge thank you, sir. Huge thank you. This is so cool. So thank you, mate. That's amazing. What a lovely thing to do. What a lovely gesture. But yeah, look, that's it, guys. That is it. This is what I have been working on and what I have been getting done. And there it is. There it is. You know, 41 skeleton warriors painted, based, and ready to join the Vampire Count host, and a boatload of miniatures built and primed. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, guys. You know, the channel is still steadily growing, which is super awesome. We are very close to 2,000 subs at this point, which is amazing. That's so cool. Like, I remember, I think it was maybe February? Yes, February this year. I was like, oh, you know, maybe this time next year, I'll have hit 1,000 subs, because back then I was at somewhere like 500. And then suddenly, boom, 1,000 came through. You know, I definitely hustled and put out a bunch of videos. You know, I had been really trying to keep a bit of momentum going with the battle reports coming out. And it obviously helped a bunch. You know, the algorithm picked me up and threw me out there to you guys. And a bunch of people came through. But now the year is not yet over and I've almost hit 2,000. 2,000 subs, that's amazing. So we're like 1,950 something now. So that's so cool. It's so cool. I'm so stoked that this is still being a thing, that I'm still doing it. These few weeks without a battle report has definitely hurt. It's hurt me and I'm sure it's hurt you guys. So my apologies, I'm doing my best. But yeah, we're still doing it. The channel's still growing and I am still dedicated to putting out new content as much as I am able to do so. You know, I'm still trying to just, you know, cast my net a little bit wider to try and get a large pool of potential opponents so that hopefully, you know, I can maybe get someone coming in when someone cancels. I'm starting to try and get a little bit more proactive with, you know, trying to book people a little further in advance rather than hitting people up on a weekend being like, hey, in 2 days, can you do a thing? But look, man, you know, when it's a one-man band, you know, life is going to get in the way and there are going to be hitches along the way. There's going to be bumps in the road, but we will continue. We will persevere. But there it is. There it is, guys. If you enjoyed the video and you're not subscribed, think about subscribing. You know, just push that little button and get some notifications as to when I'm uploading new content. If you are subscribed and you've gotten this far, like the video for me, guys. Liking the video does huge things for its potential to get pushed out to other people. So, you know, give it a like, give it a comment. Let me know what you think about my, you know, my growing Vampire Counts army. And this is the first glimpse of it you've had a look at. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. You hit the join button and it takes you to another page where you can have a look at the different levels you can use to support us here. Hitting the join button locks you into nothing. It just takes you somewhere to give you some information as to what it's all about. And speaking of channel members, I've got a new one to shout out. Heck yeah. And it is Julian Mays. I don't know if I've said that last name correctly, mate. I gave it a crack. But dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much for deciding to support the channel. Yeah, it's for people like you. It's for my channel members that I will always strive to continue to put out content, to make it better, to find new ways to keep this interesting, purchase new equipment like battle mats and models and all the things. It's, you know, it's for you guys that are deciding to help me out that I will always go the extra mile. So thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much to all my current channel members. You know, it touches me greatly that anyone is even willing to do it. So thank you so much. It's super cool. But yeah, until next time, I'm Stoss. Happy wargaming, and be good to your mother.